Hello and welcome to episode 12, the Barclay Dozen podcast, Barclay Street, Western Bulldogs, brought to you by our dear friends, Mercedes-Benz Vans. Marcus Bontempelli, you're getting ready for this new football season, round 2, but it feels like Mark 2. How are you feeling? What's going on?
The restart. Oh, mate, going well. Feeling pretty pumped to obviously be planning for a game again and through the last couple of weeks. Obviously coming back, as we've discussed in previous pods, mate, there was plenty of unknown with how things were going to sort of play out physically, how everything was going to stack up, but just really proud of how the group's managed their way and trained their way through the last few weeks, and clearly looking forward to Sunday against the Saints.
Did you watch the Pies and the Tigers in the draw last night?
I did, mate. I did. With a fairly keen eye. Obviously, footy being back for everyone was an interesting and an important thing. And just as an observer, it was quite interesting to see how the game played out as well. See how the team played it, what sort of intensity and even speed the game was played with, and then how players sort of got through the game. And clearly the first half I thought was, especially from, Collingwood's perspective, they were right on top again. And then Richmond's ability just to grind it out was pretty impressive. But the draw just feels a bit, I haven't played in one per se in sort of AFL career wise, but just a real hollow feeling even watching this, going like, like we waited all that time almost to watch a draw. How did you feel about it? You were there? Were you at the game?
I was there. I was in the commentary box with Dwayne Russell and Jared Waitley doing radio. And
what did it feel like there?
Well, so it's always a weird feeling with a draw. I've played in quite a few, but so there was that. It was a weird feeling, but then within a couple of minutes, both teams are off the ground and there's not a soul in the MCG, and we were sort of sitting there trying to make sense of it. And it was that feeling of, did that happen?
Yeah.
It was almost like sort of drifting into the twilight zone a little bit. This was really strange kind of
It's one of those times where it's like those awkward sort of moments. You're like, what do we do? Like, there's no real planning for a draw. Like, you know how to deal with the win and loss, and you're so used to those two, forms of the competition. The draw just really throws you out of whack, and you're unsure to be, well, at least we didn't lose, but it's like, but we didn't win. Like, there's that real difficult, like, mental, even like processing part.
I think even I'd love to hear what people think about it, but I mean, in my job of talking about with the build up, and we talk so much about the stuff we miss about footy and can't wait for it to come back. A lot of the conversation that ran like the joys of winning, but also it sort of came through a few times that people will even miss the pain of losing, like the whole the to and fro. No one had really talked about.
There was no contemplation.
The feeling of being lost after a draw was kind of.
So did you have to, like, your review, does it do anything different? Like, did you have a chat after the game about the game and process? Like, what does it do then for your own, like, sort of, vigor, and you're sort of like, I wish there was a bit more that. It's like, it feels like it's missing something. Yeah,
you kind of have to reflect how you feel. You can't sort of, can't dress it up as, so you just have to acknowledge that it was a really odd feeling. And a bit unsatisfied, which I'm sure that's how the players feel, I'm sure. But that's how it was as a commentator.
What did you think of the game as a whole in terms of from the way it was played?
It was like defence was obviously king. I felt like the shortened quarters, I mean, it's only a small sample size, but usually watching a game, particularly in the first two quarters, and then the early parts of the quarter, the defensive grid team setup is strong, and then it starts to break with fatigue. It just didn't break. It just didn't break. Even deep in the last quarter, there's 3 minutes to go, and it was sides were organising each other. It looked like a first quarter with the way the ground looked. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes, because I think that'd be pretty going to be pretty hard to score if sides can sort of keep that discipline of
Yeah, because there was all talk about probably going into the game how the more probably power and speed athletes would benefit from probably the shortened quarters, because they've got more opportunity to probably use those physical attributes. But like you mentioned, what it does bring into it with the shortened quarters is generally going to be a little bit more juice left across the board in terms of all players. So your appetite to the pressure side of games, but concentrate. Obviously set up defensively and those things that sometimes become difficult under fatigue, probably stand up potentially in those, which makes it, to some extent, there might be more one-on-one contests. You might get a little bit of that, but with how our team's set up, it might be tougher to score in those later games where you get a bit more of just an arm wrestle for longer and you don't get that break almost. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see, to watch and now to look, all right, how's our game going to play out?
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see whether it was just a bit of a one-off. It was quite strange to watch. All right, so with a draw, Bont, there's the options are draw, extra time, so 5 minutes each way.
Yep.
Extra time with golden goal, or set shot off.
Oh, like a penalty shootout. Oh, wow. I mean, the kid, the child in me, the 6-year-old self loves the idea of a penalty sort of shootout, a goal, set shot off. That would be great. What a spectacle.
Imagine last night, 90,000 Collingwood Richmond supporters, and then we go into a set shot penalty off.
Well, if that is the case, what's the shot? Is it, 30 out directly in front, or is it 25 out slide angle? Or is it more difficult?
I've not really thought about this, but I would imagine...
Don't give me a half-cooked scenario, mate. You know better than this. I'm going to quiz you on you media blokes. If you're going to give me a scenario, you better have the facts.
So you start in the middle, 35, 40 out, directly in front.
Okay. Yep.
And then if everyone keeps kicking it, you just keep going.
Okay. All right. Yep.
What do you reckon?
Oh, I like it. I like it because I reckon it'd be a great watch. And it's not going to happen that often. Like, you think about how many times there's a draw in the season. There's only a couple. So, geez, yeah.
I'm going with this one.
Oh, well, man. You got to be prepared to be shot down at times, which is just the way the world works. But I reckon there's some merit in it.
My life is shot down. That's it. What do people think about this?
Yeah, nah.
Hey,
I mean, traditional sense, probably 5 each way. I reckon. If that I like the idea of that, 5 each way. Golden goal. You could be waiting again for a while.
That's your Italian heritage coming out.
They do it best. I know what they're doing. Paisano.
How traditional is the 5 minutes each way, Paisan? It's not exactly, I haven't done a lot of that. What did you think about the statement last night of the players, of the taking a knee, warming up in the black shirts? I saw that you and the boys took a knee at training and posted a photo.
Yep. I mean, I really liked it. I think we've got an opportunity and a platform to, show signs of solidarity in times like these. And obviously, as a league, we all want to stand for the same thing, and that's obviously to basically stamp out and stand against any form of racism. And when you consider the obviously Aboriginal ties, not just to our nation and culture, but to football, and I think it was a really important message that for us to send. And obviously individually, we had our own stance as well at training yesterday, which was led by sort of JJ as well. And you really do, just where you can, stand in behind those players and people who want to send that message. So really important for us to do that. Yep.
Yeah, no, well done, mate. It was as an ex-teammate, it made me really proud to see you guys. And last night it was a really powerful image, and it can be a little disheartening reading comments underneath photos posted on the various formats. So for anyone out there, if you are confused about it or sort of railing against it, maybe do a bit of reading and maybe and do a bit of listening. I think that's a man of white privilege like you and I.
Yep.
I think it's probably a time to listen more than it is to speak up whilst I'm saying too much right now. Hey, let's have a little break, and we're going to welcome a former Saint and Giant, but a current Bulldog, to the Barclay Street podcast for a bit of a chat about the upcoming week.
Let's do it.
That'd be Josh Bruce, by the way. Josh Bruce. Well, Marcus, it's our great pleasure to welcome this man to the Barclay Street podcast. It's probably taken us a bit too long, actually. I'm not sure if his management's been holding out
Yeah.
bigger check
Bit more Ched. Yeah.
Or whether we just forgot about him. Who can tell in these crazy times that we live in what the reason was? But the important thing is that Josh Bruce is on Barclay Street and he's with us ahead of Sunday's big clash against one of his old teams. Brucey, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think it's definitely a case of you guys forgetting me. That's for sure. Finally got the call out to the podcast. Been a long time fan. First time, obviously, on it. So thanks for having me.
Long time listener, are you?
It's an impressive moustache you got there, Brucey. I know most blokes that I know have experimented a bit with their facial hair in isolation, but I'm sort of getting the sense that this is kind of standard for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about having a little bit there always makes me feel a bit more comfortable. I don't know. It feels a little bit weird when it's a bit.
You don't feel naked. Yeah,
it's quite nice. It's quite like it's like quite masculine, but also like delicate as well. You've got a nice balance.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it, mate. Right. Way to make a bloke feel good on a Friday morning.
We soften you up, and then
that's what we do.
Knock you down.
Here it comes. So the sledgehammer, it's coming.
We were just chatting about last night's draw, Brucey, and so Marcus initially wanted a bit of extra time, and I'm going for the more radical penalty shootout, set shot penalty shootout. Have you got a
shocker?
Have you got a view on that?
Where would you shoot from? Would you say?
Well, it would
25 straight in front.
It would start in the middle, and so it's just kick until a new player kick until you miss.
Yeah.
And then, but each one, the angle goes tighter and tighter and tighter.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but in soccer, don't they have extra time before they have a shootout? So, I mean, I would like either just to leave it as it is, take your 2 points and pack it up, unless it's a final, and then if it's a final, obviously extra time. I like it how it is.
I'm sensing not a lot of love from penalty shootout.
No. I mean, it add a bit of theatre, but I mean, I feel like with the quality of goal kicking, someone could be out with the first kick if it's.
You should definitely throw it out there, Bob. I'm keen to hear the response from the people of what they think.
Put a vote out there.
Give them a chance. Just give them a chance.
I feel like social media will embrace the concept, and also me as a human being. That's what I.
Have you got form with that happening? No? Case study.
We'll wait and see.
Can we get a vote on those gloves too while we're at it?
Yeah. This is what happens at middle age.
Yeah.
Like channeling my inner Rocky Balboa. It has been freezing. My God.
But some beautiful days. Some beautiful. We've been pretty blessed, I think, training wise. You get out mornings are, but you get out there about 10 o'clock-ish. We've had some really nice, still sunny days out at the Widden Oval, so it does make training a hell of a lot easier. But I think we're ready for a wake-up call. I reckon there's going to be a couple come through, and the wind gets up at the Widden, and we're just out there trying our best.
It's the one time a year where the wind kind of stays low at the Widden Oval, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's good time of year. This time of year, autumn. Good for the surf. If only we could get in it. But
how are you feeling, Brucey? Ahead of second game of the season, but first against your old mob, the Saints.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling very good. I was obviously a little bit caught unawares when the fixture came out, because obviously I've been planning to kind of play the Saints later on in the year. It was round 18 originally, so when the draw came out, I was pretty excited. So I'm looking forward to getting it out of the way and hopefully getting the win with the boys and rubbing it into the Saints. So
you won't get any boos, mate. There'll be no Bronx cheers for you.
Yeah, I know. It was an interesting one because they kind of boo anyway when I mark the footy because they say like boo. So it would have been one and the same. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, it'll be a bit of funny banter with the boys, I imagine, because it'll be pretty quiet out there. So
yeah, the mics might be able to pick up a bit more than usual, I reckon.
Yeah,
quietness.
Yeah, no,
it'll be great for the people at home.
Yeah, there should be a few funny ones in there, I reckon, Bob. Right up your alley.
Who are you? Who would be chief in the chat? Chief chat out there for the Saints, do you reckon? Who'll be first over to say
chief of the chat?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably Luke Dunstan. I reckon he'd be up there pretty quick. Just before Bonte gives him an absolute toweling in the midfield, and then
he's a good confidence man, Brucey. He gets you feeling good. That's for sure. The compliments are nice. They're always different. And then it's good.
Yeah, well, I don't know. There'll be a few funny ones. Like Gresh will have a bit of funny stuff to say, and old Footscray boy Benny Long obviously won a flag with the VFL side. He's the Saints now, and he's still got some mates at the Dogs, so I'm sure that he'll have a fair bit to say. So, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, and where are we going to see you play? I mean, you've obviously made a name for yourself as a key forward, but you've sort of been able to swing up both ends of the ground. What's Bevo got you? Because Bevo does like to swing the moves around. Has he got you pegged to go down back at any stage?
Not that I'm aware of at this stage, but obviously if the game gets a little bit tighter and we need someone a little bit behind the ball for a bit of protection, obviously I'll go back a little bit there potentially. Maybe a little bit of pinch hitting in the ruck, but at this stage just playing forward, unless we're getting absolutely nowhere near it, and then we'll go from there. But fingers crossed it's all going in plan. So.
It's probably worth talking about. This is a bit more, footy analytical, but the change in, potential forward lines, like you've had to build obviously a bit of chemistry as you've come across and try to, obviously, we sort of work our way in and work together. Have you found it's been a challenge or somewhat easy to sort of just basically work in with the rest of the forwards in there, and obviously from a midfield forward perspective too?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the main things is obviously your synergy as a forward line, but as you said, the midfield forward connections are really important as well, I found. As you're aware, Bonnie, we've done some kicking and stuff post-training just to get that connection going, and that's something I'm really big on, to know that the way that the mids like to kick it in, and the way that, so that you guys know that the way I like to play as well. So, and then the synergy, I found the synergy as a forward line group's been really easy to kind of get used to. It's all stuff that I'm kind of used to and I've heard before, and obviously largely based around a high pressure side. So it's been really good, and it's been really good to adapt to some new techniques. I mean, Ash Hanson's been really good for me. Just some little technical things in my game that he's noticed that'll allow me to get to more contests and allow me to get the most out of my athletic ability in terms of positioning and just the way that I'm moving around the park. So fingers crossed we see a bit of that come to fruition come Sunday and for the rest of the season.
Yeah. What's happening with the team this week? What can you tell us, boys? Because I think by the time this podcast comes out, the teams will be out. But we've got a bit of movement, haven't we? A bit of late unfortunate change. Is that right?
Yeah. Woody unfortunately pulled up a bit sore after training. Thursday, so it would be yesterday when the pod drops. So he'll miss, unfortunately. I'm not sure the extent of it just yet. Hoping it's only a couple, but unfortunately, he won't be playing on the weekend, which is always a shame when you consider missing any game. But got through the last 3 or 4 weeks sort of really well. He was feeling quite good, and then on the sort of the death knock, pulled up a bit sore. So fingers crossed. You sort of think hopefully it's only a small sort of maybe strain or something like that, and he'll be back. with us in hopefully maybe 2 or 3, but still need to sort of confirm that. So that's the only the disappointing one. We got some 2 really, really good, I guess, inclusions if you'd like. Latham Vandermeer's playing his first game, so the speedster from I think Marupno he's from. Yeah, the Shep Dog as he's affectionately called. He's been biding his time for a while just because he's always shown the signs of being able to play at the level, but just with his body, it hasn't always worked for him. And he's gotten to a point now where he's, had a good sort of basically patch of continuity in his legs and he'll play. So I think, you love debuts. You guys would all be the same when a young player or someone who's been through some difficulties plays their first game. It just gives you that extra bit of pep going into a game for sure.
It's always a bit of magic.
Yeah. And also
what's the young fella like in the locker room? What's his kind of vibe?
Latham?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Brucey? What's he like? What were your first impressions of the Shep Dog?
He had his. I didn't know who was going to talk first. He had his Xavier towel hanging over his locker on the day that I walked in. So it was with his name and number on it. So I was like, oh, okay, but he's a confident little fella. But he backs it up. He backs it up on when he trains, and he's lightning quick and he can kick the ball really, really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. And the other good one
keep going. You go.
Yeah, go on.
I'll come back to it. I was going to say he's a funny little chirper. Like he's always around. Like Lath, he's just like he's always in someone's ear. He's always keen on a chat. And that's great. Like those sorts of characters are awesome for footy clubs because they just drive the banter, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, he's a good teammate, good to be around. So I'm looking forward to his first game, and it was really special to see. Kind of yesterday, you kind of forget about like playing your first game of footy, and just to see the way it hit him for 6, and then to him to see the video of him talking to his parents and stuff in tears, like it's just really special. You just you forget how magical it is to even play one game of AFL footy, let alone Bobby played 300 plus. So. Yeah, it was really special.
Sometimes make it all feel like kids because there's the moment where you're not a league footballer, and then you get given the golden ticket where you are a league footballer. It's almost like you get to see the player as well.
And he had no idea either. Like it was, it wasn't like sometimes players sort of know or they get sort of led in on basically jumper presentations. Certain people can come in, and he was like. It just hit him. And I think even after he still was, it's one of those times where like until I'm probably out there, I won't know it's actually happened. So, he's pumped. The other big one is Lin Jongy back after a sort of a longish sort of layoff with injury and different challenges. That he's another one of those locker room characters that you love to play with and train with and be around. So having him basically be preparing for his first game in a little while is just going to be awesome again for all involved, but himself. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously shattered when he got injured again. It was in the intra club, I think, before round 1. Yeah, and it was like, my hammy's worse than the one last year, and then obviously things have panned out the way they have, and he's playing round 2, so it's kind of blessing in disguise in a way for guys like him. And it's exciting for Jongy. Can't wait to play with him.
It's awesome. Well, I can sense your excitement. I know you're both busy, so thanks for time today. Great to see you both. Brucey, sorry it took us so long to get you on, but great to have you on.
He's here now.
Give that old mob of yours. Give him hell, mate. Feel free to throw yourself at it. Bit of hang time, slot a few through. And Bont, you just do your best, young fella. Depth is important.
I was waiting, Bob. It's about time, mate. I thought you were a bit off. I hadn't received one yet.
The teams that got most depth and they go all the way to the 22nd player, that's important, mate. So hang in there.
Oh, and actually, finally, happy birthday for earlier this week, mate. I almost forgot to mention in the previous one. I don't want it to seem token, but happy birthday, mate.
But you did present. So.
What day was it, Bob?
No.
Where's the present, Bond? Talk is.
It's on its way, mate. These COVID, the COVID, thing, the hit on all the delivery businesses. It's just taken a couple extra days. It's taken a couple extra. Yeah.
I was 38 during the week, Brucey. So all of a sudden, I know I don't look.
You're on the 9th. I'm on the 8th. So 10 years
Oh,
older.
there we go.
10 years older than me to the day. So I'm waiting for my present from Bonzi as well. So, yeah.
Happy birthday!
They're coming. They're stuck. They're stuck in the factory, fellas. They're stuck in the factory.
What a somber.
Very good. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah. See you, Brucey. See you,
nice.
Good luck on Sunday, boys. Go well.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Lads. Go get them.